Hello, my dears. It is Kulipup here. And thank you again for joining me for another lesson. So one of today's lessons is going to be all about this stuff over here. Affirmations and reprogramming the conscious and subconscious mind. Alrighty, so I've got my my notes here as well. So if you see me look over here, it's because I'm trying to stay on topic and not ramble away and make this video an hour and a half long like I tend to make all of my videos. Trust me, I am trying very hard to keep these under 30 minutes and sometimes hopefully at 10, but it never seems to work because I ramble just like this. Alrighty. So affirmations and reprogramming. So what is an affirmation and what is it? Well, or what does it do, if anything? So firstly, you have to understand what you are trying to target when you are saying an affirmation. Now, your mind, your conscious and your subconscious minds are physical programs within your consciousness. They are not you. They are literally a program that is taking command until you physically wake up. So when you are doing your inner work and you are gaining spiritual enlightenment, you will find that at one point these programs will be obsolete because they won't be necessary anymore. At that point, you can delete them using your own will and your own consciousness. But for the time being, you do have them. And affirmations are a great way to program into these programs different commands that are going to fulfill you more and work more towards your own benefit. Because we have what we call societal programming that is very much so fully in effect. And if you think about it, when you're watching TV, it's called a TV program for a reason because it is programming you. It gives you a schedule for the same shows to come about on the same time. When you're hearing the news, it is the same do 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 do, and you see the globe is on a lot of news stations, you know, in their opening kind of credits and so forth. Everything sounds the same, and it is because they understand that they are programming you to accept information. Sometimes that information isn't to your benefit, though, although you are programmed to accept it. So let's do some reprogramming, shall we? And let's understand a little bit more about what affirmations actually, like how can we work with this? All right. So firstly, affirmations program your conscious and subconscious minds to accept or reject certain information while using repetitive phrasing. So that technically is what an affirmation is. Now, these phrases, these words, these images that you see, everything that you see in terms of this programming is generating a feeling within you. Because if we know how to speak the language of the universe, it is when we are marrying our thoughts and our feelings and our heart together. So when you hear these specific phrases, they are going to generate thoughts in your mind, which is going to generate a feeling inside yourself, inside your heart and inside your solar plexus. Now, those feelings produce energy because everything is energy in motion. So those feelings are going to produce a certain form of energy, and that energy is then going to be directed accordingly. So if you are programmed into being fearful, you will generate energy based on fear, and that fear energy is going to attract fear to you. Subsequently, if you are programmed or you program yourself to produce only feelings of love, joy, happiness, and gratitude, you will generate the feelings of love, happiness, joy, and gratitude, which will then bring the laws of attraction back to you again in a more of a positive nature. So that's what we want to do. We want to get all the positivity in and flush all that negativity out. Now, an affirmation to be really successful actually involves a little bit of numerology, because a lot of people, they will say their affirmations and then they'll wonder why things aren't really happening. Well, you actually have to do it in a specific number. And this is always really important, but some people, we miss it because if we don't say it the specific amount of times, you're not going to get the results you need. So this is how you do it right. Your life path number and the amount of times you think of it per day, or think of the issue per day as to what you want to reprogram, is how many times you need to say this phrase. And I'm going to give you some hints and tips as how you can, if it's a lot that you have to say, how you can kind of make it easier on yourself as well. But we'll do that at the end. Now, how do you get your life path number? Well, first, I'm going to give you an example here. Let's say my birthday was, I'm going to throw out a random birthday too. This isn't my actual birthday, but I'm going to throw out a random birthday. So let's say you were born in June 12th of 1983. Okay, so that's June, but we're going to 06. So we're going to say June, just so we know there, because I know depending on where you are located in the world, if you're in England, you may say June 6th, and if you're in Canada, you may say 6th of June or the 6th or whatever, but we're going to go say this is June. So first what you do is you add up the first two numbers. 0 plus 6 equals 6. Okay. Then you add these numbers up for the 12th of June. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. Then you add these numbers up. 1 plus 9 equals 10. 8 plus 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11. Then you add those two together. So 10 plus 11 is 21. And then you add that number together again, which equals 3. Okay? So now your life path number is always going to be not one single digit between 1 to 9. So if you've got a double digit, like the 10 and the 11, and we add those together, and that was 21, we're going to then add 2 plus 1, which equals 3. So we're always kind of reducing it to the lowest number we can. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add all of these numbers together. So we've got 6, 8, 9, 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you've got 12. However, we don't have a 12, so it's again only the single digit between 1 and 9. So with this, we're going to add that together again. So your life path number at the end of this is 3. So that would be your life path number if you were born on June 12th of 1983. Okay? So now this is the life path number you're going to use for your affirmations. Alrighty. So if we have a life path number 3, let's say I am an individual that is looking for, what do I want? I want money. A lot of people want money because it's unfortunately used for a lot of things, and I cannot stand money, but anyway. So if I were thinking about money, let's say I had an anxiety about money, at least twice a day. Okay, so what I would do is I would be like, okay, well, it happens twice a day. So 2 times 3 equals 6. So I need to say a specific phrase, which would be, for example, I am grateful for my financial wealth. I would need to say that 6 times in a row. Okay? And if I were to do that every day, that is the amount of times that is required for me to start to reprogram myself. That's how many times I need to hear it. If my life path number was an 8, and I thought about it twice a day, I would need to do it 16 times a day, because 2 times 8 is 16. So that is what you would need to do. So that's how you can calculate how much or how many times you need to say this phrase. Okay. So if your life path number is a 1 though, because we do have the 1s. Now 1s are very, 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 1 is a very masculine energy of a number if you're born in a 1, which unfortunately means that you're more likely to be a very powerfully opinionated individual, you know, a leader, very confident. However, sometimes mean you're really, really stubborn, and it's hard to change when you're a life path number of a 1. I definitely recommend for those of you who are interested, look up some numerology and find your life path number and read who you are or the kinds of individuals who are there in a life path for that number, and you'll find a lot of good stuff. But anywho, so if you are a 1, If your life path number is 1, you need to add on a 0 to the end and make it 10. So if you are life path number 1 and you thought about money twice a day, you would then need to do 2 times 10. So you'd need to say this 20 times instead. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. Well, I guess sort of, but not really. But anyway, I'll let you figure that one out. Alrighty. So when we are looking to make an affirmation as it pertains to the laws of attraction, because this is one of the things. So you're going to have this affirmation for the laws of attraction. What you're going to need to do is, number 1, you're going to need to identify what you want. Okay? So again, this is for the laws of attraction. You want to attract to yourself the things that you want. So first you got to identify what it is. What do you actually want? What is it that you want? Now, that could be money, it could be love, it could be safety, it could be health, it could be anything. So identify what you want first. Next thing is, 2, is you need to identify or find out what you need to get there. Okay, so for example, maybe gratitude or love. Okay, really important on this one. You have to identify what it is you need in order to get there, because if you're making a request to the universe for that law of attraction, you need to request the right thing. It's just the same way if you go shopping for a car, you don't go, oh, I need a car, I'll just take the first car that comes to me. Of course not. You need to know what you're going to do with this car. Do you need a 7-seater because you have a large family? Do you need a lot of trunk space, or do you need speed and efficiency? So, you've got to identify what it is you need in order to get there. Okay? Number 3 is you need to write down your affirmations or your phrases. And when you're writing down your phrases, you gotta be pretty on point on that one. And because you have to remember, it's whatever generates a feeling inside you when you are writing this. So if, for example, my issue is, what could an issue be? My issue is that I constantly don't feel like I am grateful for things. So I want to change that. I want to recognize, I want to recognize within myself what I'm grateful for, so that I can be happier and be more grateful for the things I have and stop wanting to buy shit and get stuff for whatever reason, right? So with this, I need to write down, I am grateful for what I have. I am grateful that I am healthy. I am grateful for the sunny day or whatever it is. You need to write it down, because whatever the phrase that incites a feeling to you, because I'm not going to say, for example, I am not somebody who, just because you have the status of family to me, I was born to you, or we share the same kind of blood. You can be my distant cousin. Just because we share the same blood does not mean that you will incite a feeling in me. Because I can have cousins that I've never spoken to in my life, and to me they just seem like any other person, or any other person that's walking the earth. Love everybody, but you're nothing really special to me. So I'm not going to say something like, I am grateful for my family, or I'm grateful for my entire family, because technically that's not true. I love all my family, but I don't necessarily care too much about the individuals who are very distant from me. So instead, I would then change that to, I am grateful for my husband, I am grateful for my children, I am grateful for the wonderful people that are within my life and that contribute positively to my life. Because when I say that, I am generating the feelings of gratitude because I'm thinking about my husband, I'm thinking about my children, I'm thinking about the people that I have in my life that I am actually grateful for. So that is what is inciting the feeling. But if I'm just blatantly generalizing it and going, oh, I'm grateful for my entire family, my heart knows that that's not an exact truth. So I have to be more specific. Yeah, some of you may think I'm cold-hearted for that, but oh well. So that is, you need to write down your phrase and what generates and what resonates with you mostly. Okay. And then lastly, repeat phrase appropriate amount of time. Times. Okay. So again, if my life path number is 3, and I wrote down the phrase, I am grateful for my husband, I am grateful for my children, I am grateful for all the people who love me and who support me, and so on. Whatever that would be one affirmation. All of those. So not just I'm grateful for my husband, not just that. It is I'm grateful for all of blah, 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 blah. So it could be a whole sentence. Now I'm going to need to say that, and if I'm thinking of I'm not grateful all day long, and I keep thinking of like, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. If I were to think of that like 4 times or 20 times a day, and that was really my issue, I need to multiply my life path number by my own life path number, and that's how many times I need to say it. So if my life path number is 3, I need to do it 3 times 3 is 9. So I need to say this phrase, that whole sentence, 9 times in order for me to start to reprogram this and start feeling the feelings that I'm generating from this phrase. Okay, and then that's when the reprogramming will start. All right, however, if I only thought about it once or twice in the day, that is less than my life path number, then I'd only say it 3 or 6 times a day as well. So you have to just do the math accordingly. So that is your setting your intent or your focus or your affirmations for the laws of attraction. Now, you also have the setting the affirmations to physically reprogram as well. Oh, by the way, like if I was setting the affirmation for great gratitude, so going, I'm grateful for my husband, I'm grateful for my children, and grateful for the people around me, and I said that 9 times a day, that would keep me in my gratitude frequency. My gratitude frequency is what generates energy in order for the law of attraction to be pulled towards me. Okay, those feelings of being grateful is basically just like, ooh, energy boost. Okay, let's get things to her faster. So that's what I mean about setting your intent in terms of, and your focus, because you're focusing on gratitude in order to get you some more energy to get your law of attraction going on. Okay. Now, your other one is, as I mentioned, would be to reprogram yourself to stop negativity or stop repetitive thoughts that go through in your mind that may be harmful, or even reprogramming in positivity into your life as well. Reprogramming the positivity in there is more like setting your focus in order to generate the laws of attraction coming to you. So this one we'll put on correcting in terms of reprogramming the conscious and subconscious mind out of negative things. So firstly, what you need to do is you need to, number 1, identify and get to the root cause. Of your issue. Hope you can still see that all the way over there. There we go. So that's number 1. So identify and get to the root cause of your issue, okay, that you need to reprogram. And I want you to think about this in terms of, like, let's say you were an actual computer programmer. Hey, you may be an actual computer programmer. You can't just simply go, oh, I want the mouse to go over there, or sorry, the arrow or the sparkly sky to go over there on my computer. No, you've got to speak the language. You got to put in the 1s and the 0s and the command, because you have to know exactly what you're trying to do. And to do that, you need to understand what it is exactly you're trying to do. So you need to identify and get to the root cause of the issue or problem that you want to reprogram. So identify the problem. Now, I'll give you one. Again, a lot of ladies go through this. Or I won't say a lot of ladies, but a lot of people go through trust issues. And you'll hear me say it a lot because that was one of my biggest issues, was trust. Because I'm one of those analytical kind of minds, and I take in so much information. So I'm always just like, hey, there's more information that could be taken in. So, why should I trust your opinion versus anybody else's? You know, that kind of thing. So it's trust. So we'll go on here. We'll go on here. So firstly, for me to find my affirmation, I need to go to the root cause of my trust issues, which I found was because I was Nicholas Copernicus in one of my past lives. And I'll let you look up the story of Nicholas Copernicus. But basically, I developed mad trust issues because of that. So I identified the problem, which was I have trust issues because I'll put it there, as I was Nicholas Copernicus, I was one of the first individuals to say out loud and in public that the sun did not revolve around the earth, and that the earth revolved around the sun, and that it kind of went on board. Now, I kept it at a local basis because I didn't really like a lot of fame, which is the same thing. Same right now. I'm like, hey, get the information out, but I don't necessarily need to be on TV or have fame or anything like that. I don't really care about that. But anyway, I was persecuted by the church because this was during those times that the church ruled everything. And if you went away from the church, which at the time said, hey, no, the earth is the center of the universe. Like, this is the way God created it. And if you say anything else, we're going to burn you at the stake. So I'm like, oh, I said it, but I'm going to back off. But anyway, my whole trust issue came because they told me I was wrong. So I said, you know what? I know I'm right, but I'm going to do everything I can as a mathematician and an astrologer to prove myself wrong. Because if I can't prove myself wrong, that means I'm right. And anyway, I spent all the way up until my dying age of 70 years old before I had a stroke, clutching my book in my hand that was yet to be published only a little bit later. And I wasn't able to prove myself wrong, but I had spent most of my lifetime second guessing myself, always trying to prove myself wrong. So I gained a lot of trust issues from that, always second guessing and not trusting my words. Trust me, that's way gone now. But anyway, so an affirmation for that. Let me go back on topic. So I identified the problem and I identified where it came from and the root of it. Past lives are tricky like that. So 2 is find the solution. Solution to correct the problem. To correct the problem, to correct the issue. Okay, so with this, my solution was to write the affirmation. Well, it was actually a pretty long one, to be honest with you. But if I wanted to write that affirmation again, mine would have been, I have... No, that's not right. Because again, I could say this. I am solid in my resolve. I fully trust myself. I fully trust my knowledge and wisdom. So this would be my entire, that wasn't exactly mine, I'm not gonna lie, but this could be something that you could, that you may be able to work with. So I am solid in my resolve. I fully trust myself, and I fully trust my knowledge and wisdom. And that would be it. It's like, I am solid in my resolve. I fully trust myself, and I fully trust my knowledge and my wisdom. If I were to say this phrase this sentence or these 3 phrases, and if my life path number was a 3, and I really didn't trust myself, I would need to say this, the multiple of my life path number, which would be 3 times 3 is 9. I would need to say this 9 times every day, word for word exactly, because those words are going to incite the feelings of trust within myself and of what's the word I'm looking for? Confidence. And so on. And I would start to reprogram myself. So when those thoughts would pop into my head, again, saying, oh, don't trust yourself, my body and my mind subconsciously has already been programmed to be like, nah, you trust yourself. You're good. So then the anxiety, the worry, the negative feelings that come within that negative programming will start to go away. And then you complete your affirmations in accordance to severity again, like I mentioned. So I would have had to say that 3 times if my life path number was a 3, 9 times if my life path number was a 3. However, if my life path number was a 9, I'd have to say it 27 times. Right though, like crazy. So if I wanted to say it like that would be if I wanted to say it 3 times, or I'd have to say it 81 times if it was really, really, really heavy. Okay, to get through that. Now, what are some tips that you can do, especially when you have, because we're so freaking programmed right now, it's unbelievable. So one of the main tips I can give you is you want to hear this affirmation in your own voice, so you can speak it, or you can do what I did, which was a little bit cheeky, but it gets the job done. So you want to do a recording. Okay, so 1, you can speak it. 2, record it. So for example, I would have a voice recorder app on my phone, and I would repeat my phrase 3 times. So I would repeat, I am strong in my resolve. I trust myself fully. I am fully trusting of my knowledge and wisdom. So I would say that phrase 3 times. Very clear, very slow, but with a very confident voice and very confident tone. And I would just say it 3 times. Then what I would do, so if that little snippet of a recording, let's do this. I'm terrible at math, by the way. I'm honest, I don't care. So if that snippet took me, let's say, 12 seconds to, like when that recording was 12 seconds, but I said it 3 times, but now I need to hear it 81 times. Let's say if my life path number was a 9, I need to do that 81 times. So then I would do, 81 divided by 3, 27. So 27 times 12 seconds equals 324 seconds. Divide that by 60, which is minutes. So that means, and that is 5.4, or call it 5.5. So that means that I would literally get this recording and I'd put it on loop, and I would sit there with my headphones and I would listen to it for 5.5 minutes every day. 5.5 minutes. And that is my affirmations done. And my throat doesn't hurt, and I didn't have to remember any of the words or anything like that. So that is a very helpful hint and tip or trick that you can use to get your affirmations in. And by all means, do this with you. Do your affirmations according to each issue. That was just one issue. Maybe you have 5 issues. So maybe you have 5 affirmations that you need to listen to every single day. Now, if your affirmation, you're finding that you've said it in the morning, I always recommend doing it in the morning as you wake up, so that you are kind of programming this in the rest of the day. If by midday you start getting these thoughts back in, pop on your headphones and do your affirmations again. Okay? As soon as you start to notice the negative thoughts coming back, or the feelings of, well, the feelings that you don't want there, get onto your affirmations. When you know the way to do it, and when you know what you're doing, that you are physically reprogramming your conscious and subconscious mind, and you know how many times to say it, the exact number of times it needs to be done, and you stick to that, there's nothing you can't do. There really isn't. So take your power back. Get everything going. As always, if you found this video useful and you'd like to return some of the energy by saying thank you, by all means, there is my PayPal address. Returning the energy is always wonderful. Never mandatory, but always appreciated. Alrighty, that is it from Kulipup on affirmations.